Hey there, welcome to welcome to our brand new actual play D&D show. We will be playing in the world of Eberron, and I am joined by the lovely Ali, the gorgeous Harry, and the handsome Anne, as we experience the world of Eberron firsthand. This will be replacing our bi-weekly Monday podcast, and we don't entirely have an idea how long this will go on yet, but in between arcs or in between separate campaigns, the podcast will be coming back and we'll still have our regular shows that we have during the week. Welcome to Eberron. Starting off at the top, do have a heady bit of lore here. So we'll dive into that and then we'll introduce you guys to the characters. So, over the past 100 years, the world of Eberron has seen destruction unparalleled since the mythic ages of the goblinoid Deccan Empire and their Daelkyr invaders. The Civil War of Galifar began 104 years ago, in the year of the Kingdom, 894, and ended as swiftly as it began. 4 years ago, the heart of Galifar, the nation of Sire, was consumed in a magical maelstrom known to us now as the Morning. The war ended soon after that, and 2 years ago the Treaty of Thronehold was signed. The 5 nations that began the war now stand 1 state short, and surrounded by other smaller nations birthed, reclaimed, or neglected during the war. The beautiful nations of Sire now exist as a war-torn badlands of unexplainable magics known to the rest of Eberron as the Mournlands. The hostility between the nations of Corvair remains, but none are able to act while the fear of a second morning looms overhead. However, something more sinister is beginning to stir. Deep in the nation of Breland, past New Sire and over the King's Forest, somewhere in the maze-like streets of Sharn, a single gear begins to turn in the machinations of an unseen and unexplainable threat. Guys, would you like to introduce your characters? We'll go ahead and roll for who gets to go first here.
Nice.
I got a 19 for my first roll.
Ooh.
I got a fucking 8.
Mine literally went 1 and then landed on 19.
Oh my god, Gorgeous. It was on a 20 and went to an 8.
Gorgeous.
What a way to start off.
I solidly got a 1.
Got a 1, a natural 1 here.
Dang.
So, Ali, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you're playing?
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'll be playing Virgil Harjan, a human fighter with the Echo Knight subclass. All I care about is women, coin, and making sure my life isn't so boring. I was a mercenary, but now I kind of work day to day for a crazy artificer, and that definitely makes my life a little bit more interesting.
Harry, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you're playing?
I'm Harry, and I'll be playing Fetch 22, a Warforged Path of Wild Magic Barbarian. Recently back in Sharn after a few years away, Fetch was the right-hand familiar to one Aster Tithrin, the most renowned and exquisite wizard in all of Eberron. After Master Tithrin's recent untimely demise, I've been sent on a journey to deliver his last will and testament to all he's requested. I've been programmed to be naturally happy, curious, and totally not hung up about emotional lacerations that I've been dealt.
And then, Anne, what are you going to be playing in the campaign?
Hey, my name is Anne, and I'll be playing Circe. Circe is a paladin of vengeance, kind of the reborn variety, trying out something new. She's kind of known to the lower district of Sharn as being a bit of a vigilante with kind of a brutal streak, and has a tendency of slicing and dicing first and maybe asking questions later if she's feeling it. Spoiler alert, she usually isn't.
Damn, all right, gang. I think, that's great. We'll leave it there. Thanks for coming to the episode, guys. That was great. Bye. Just kidding, y'all. We'll dive straight into it. So we're going to start. We are flying through the King's Forest, far past New Sire and Rote and all of the other cities and towns in the nation of Breland. And we follow a sparrowhawk as it darts across the sky, crossing under the ever-present ethereal glow of Cyberus' ring that saddles the equator of Eberron. Over the top of that sparrowhawk, an airship glides into view, setting sail towards the city of Sharn, the city of towers. In the background, we see a gorgeously ornate city, a huge set of cascading towers and floating glass and stonework and brick, all lit up in the nighttime by ethereal mage-like lights. And we will fade to day as we head over to the lower districts of Jura, more specifically Maleon's Gate, where one Virgil Harjin resides. Virgil, you're in your house, relatively well kept for the area that you live in, the goblinoid slums of Maleon's Gate. As you get out of bed and look in the mirror, what is it that everyone sees?
Human, apart from both his ears are pierced with these black studs. He's got the sides of his head faintly shaved, and his hair on top is a kind of mixture of a dark kind of midnight blue and black. It looks like it's Bedhead that's been elegantly disheveled. Like, it looks like Bedhead, but he's tried too hard to make it seem look like Bedhead. He has one complete normal arm on his left side of his body, but his right arm is that of a Warforged arm, completely metal. He kind of looks in front of the mirror, stretches a little bit. There's some scars over his chest, shoulders, basic battle scars. And as he puts his clothes on for the day, he's probably the best dressed mercenary. Not any crazy armors on display. He wears black suit pants, very nice polished black suit shoes, a type of long coat that comes down to about his knees, and a black shirt that is opened with a black tie kind of loosely tied on, and these round, perfect little round sunglasses that kind of sit on the bridge of his nose, with a beautiful looking long sword with a wolf head on the guard on his waist.
You're getting ready to head off to work. You live in the lower districts of Sharn. You live, like I said before, in Maleon's Gate, which is primarily, goblinoid. But you work actually in Upper Sharn, in the shop of one Thimrun Stonebane, a dwarven artificer. And you are on your way to work now. So you kind of gather everything you need for work and head out the door. And you are confronted for the umpteenth time to the slum-like conditions of these goblin tenements. There are a few people kind of cutting about the streets, some goblinoids, some smaller goblins kind of playing dice over by the corner of a street, and some other people, some goblinoid children running around the street playing ball, a modified version of the shifter game Hrazak. It usually takes you about half an hour to get to work. But if you're walking, if you decide, sometimes you have those days where you decide that I'm going to walk there. You get up a little bit earlier and it takes you a good hour and a half to get to work. But you see at the end of the street, your usual Sky Coach is there, ready to take you to work.
If you could take me to Thimrun's, please, that'd be great. Then I'll claim on in.
The person driving is not a goblinoid. They are a halfling, and they don't really look all that jazzed to be here down in Maleon's Gate, but you pay them a pretty penny every now and then because it saves you the time. And they batter on and they, ask the usual kind of small talk like, oh, how's work been, Virgil? How's Thimrun doing? How's everybody doing down in Maleon's? Not that they particularly care, but usual. It's,
small talk. Yeah,
customer retention.
Bad, boring, but this boring work is paying more than my jobs where I'd almost die. So boring is good if I'm being paid more. So,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not exactly like we want any kind of accidents to happen up there in Upper Dora. It's a nice place. It's a relatively nice place. I'd much rather be there than
I get that.
Than here.
I will say though, as bad as the slums are, it wasn't in the slums that I lost my arm. So take it with a grain of salt.
I'm looking forwards. I'm never really looking back that much. I always forget she's only got the one arm.
You're good, man. You're
my
good.
bad,
And Virgil
Virgil.
put like a cigarette between his lips and just like get a tinderbox out and spark it.
Yeah, you have a cigarette on your way to work in this lovely sky coach. It takes about you half an hour to get to the kind of docking port for Upper Dura, and it's a small-ish walk towards Thimran's shop in Daggerwatch. On your way there, you see, the kind of upper echelon of life. Not exactly the kind of nobility you would see in the Skyway, but still well-dressed people, middle-class people. You're approaching Thimran's shop, and you don't see Thimran outside. Instead, you see Aloysius Bagmore,
Morning,
his
Aloysius.
young
Where's the
halfling
boss?
apprentice. All right there, Virgil. Thimran's just upstairs. He's getting packed for his trip off to Corenberg. But, we're just doing the usual. I'm just getting stuff ready for the morning.
No,
Have you
woke
eaten
up,
yet?
got ready, came here. I also don't think I have any food in my house. I work here all day, and then I kind of just sleep. So if you're offering breakfast, that'd be great.
She, before you can even finish, already has like a lovingly wrapped like wax paper sandwich in your hands, and says, "Yeah, I figured, no worries. Same routine, I'll be working in here. If you just keep your eye out here, then we shouldn't have any
trouble. My watch
trouble."
begins, and thank you for breakfast. Trust me, I don't think if you were giving me these, I'd probably just die of starvation. Yeah,
you ain't got much meat on you, do you?
Virgil kind of
and she-
looks at her like, "What? I'm perfectly fine. I got a great body." And he kind of looks down. Maybe I could use a couple more pounds. Happily.
Give me a quick perception check.
Oh, see, I started off with that initiative roll for a 19. Now I've got an 8, but that's going to be a total of 12.
Cool. She absolutely was not looking at your bored flat ass when she said that. Your watch begins, and that was a lovely, jokey perception check. But if you can give me an actual perception
be a
check now that
60.
we've got the bad roll out of the way. You see what is not an unusual sight for you living in Maleon's Gate and coming from, a different district of Sharn, but you see a beggar up here on the districts of Upper Dura, and he doesn't have a sign or anything. He's just kind of sat there, no shirt on, these harem pants around his trousers, just this regular human man. Looks quite a bit aged, but you can see him gesturing towards passers-by, towards a little hat on the floor, but no one seems to be paying him any mind.
Check to see if this is just a ruse, because seeing someone like this up here is kind of strange. 15.
Yeah, give me an insight check. It's certainly strange, but to you it does not seem like a ruse. It seems like, you take a look at this man and you can see that he looks bone thin. You can see he looks quite hungry, and you can see that this feels like somewhat of or rather he makes this feel like a last ditch attempt.
Hey buddy, I'm gonna flick a gold coin into his hat. You probably should move on from here. The guards are not particularly gracious to people, kind of offsetting the balance of all the high up assholes up here. There's a gold coin that should get you some food, maybe some rags, but I would move off before the guards pick you and throw you out of here.
Oh, such a kind boy to help a fallen soldier. Thank you, but I must make a bit more before I can go home, but if I can find somewhere better, I will. I'll wait here until noon, if you don't mind keeping an eye out for me.
And be like, yeah, sure. It's not like I'm going to be doing anything else anyway, but if the guards put hands on you, I'm not going to get involved. Last thing I need to do is lose my form of money.
Yes, of course.
Virgil kind of give him a nod and
Thank you, young
head
man.
back to his post.
Lovely. About 10, 15 minutes pass, and you hear the regular kind of elephant hoof-like stomping down the stairs as Thimrun Stonebane comes down from his apartment upstairs and walks out of the shop to meet you. He is this ridiculously stereotypical dwarven man, a gorgeous, gorgeous ginger beard, all braided, hair swept back and braided at the back as well. He wears an amalgam of like an apron, and underneath the apron he's also got dungarees on and a utility belt full of tools and arcane palimpsests and all sorts of weird tools that wouldn't usually go together, but Thimrun somehow manages to make it work. And at his heels are the two gorgeous steel defenders,
Hey, Thimrun,
Fluff and
you ready
Sweetie.
for the trip?
I'm looking forward to it, happy to get out of Sharn for a little bit, but it'll be important. Definitely important to get to Corenburg. You know how those gnomes are when it comes to sharing their information. But I just need to ask you a favour, Virgil. Do you mind starting a little bit earlier tomorrow? Alyosha might need a little bit of a hand opening the shop up and everything. She's competent when it comes to tools, but when it comes to people, she's like a rock.
Yeah, you're paying. I don't mind coming earlier.
Cheers, my boy. How's the arm keeping?
Most people would be pretty bummed losing their arm and being replaced with this piece of metal, but I love it. It's a little bit stiff when it rains, but I'm growing pretty attached to it. I've managed to get through the problems of, being offset, but I got used to the weight of it, and you've done a good job putting it on. I do appreciate that. I will try and not get it broken. How long are you going to go away for? Oh.
I'll only be gone about a week. And he, for a moment, he scowls at you and says, well, of course it won't break. I made it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I couldn't possibly get into Chillida if it was all in this breaking. You're right. Yeah, it couldn't possibly break.
He laughs and slaps an arm on your real human arm, and it fully just will bruise.
Of course. You go for
he is a heavy-handed
All right,
man.
I see how it is. Thanks. Then run. Oh,
making sure you're awake.
Happy to be here. You little shit. He said it internally, you little shit.
Yeah. Virgil, just another thing. And he's gonna come up quite close to you, and he'll whisper this to you. Just be extra careful when I'm gone. There are some people who wouldn't mind seeing my shop shut down.
I mean,
just
you know
keep an
where
eye
I'm
out.
from. I'm from a pretty shit neighborhood. I could stay here until you're back if you want. That way, if someone breaks into the shop at night, I'm here. I don't mind posting up here. No skin off my nose.
No. Don't worry about it. I'm leaving Fluff and Sweetie here, so if anything bad happens, well, it wouldn't be to us. There's no need for that. Alyosha only lives down the street anyway, so if anything bad happens, I'll give her my sending stone so she
just
can
let her
get in
know
touch
if anything
with you.
happens. I'm an hour away, so I can't get there immediately. But I sure as shit try. Let's just hope no more people like those stupid wizards come by again. I kind of like having one normal arm, although maybe having two metal arms would be kind of cool.
I think you did a good enough job scaring them off. And I haven't heard anything about them for a long time, so I think we'll be all right. Again, it's only a week. The world isn't going to end in that time. Usually, it takes at least 100
I'll be
years.
long dead, and hopefully with a smile on my face and riches in my grave when that happens.
Well, I'll make sure to write you a lovely epitaph. I'm going to get to work. Why don't you wipe your breakfast off of your shirt and...
I'll just quickly put the wrapper in my
just have a good
suit
day.
pocket. Yeah, I'll lick my thumb and wipe it off. Yeah, I'm ready to get to work. Just ready for the same day as every day.
Give me a perception check.
14.
Do an advantage for me. 14. Sweet. You notice that the beggar you were talking to just a few minutes ago is gone. But the hat is still there on
you
the
mind
floor.
if I just check something before I come into the shop real quick?
Sure, yeah.
Well, it's
I don't mind.
a couple minutes at best. I'm just... are you leaving right away to go on your vacation?
No, I'm leaving later tonight. I'm taking the air coach out from the
It's probably
Skyway.
nothing, but go inside the shop and bring your buddies with you, okay?
Yeah, sure. Fluff, sweetie, come on. He whistles, and you've heard it enough times to know
I'm gonna
that they
go
will
over
just
to where he
follow
was.
that.
Can I investigate, see if there's like scraps, blood, sign of a struggle, anything? 23.
Yeah, absolutely, go for it. Sweet. No signs of blood, nothing. You are not magic by any means. Solely the thing that has happened to you is the only kind of link with the arcane that you have ever had in your life. But there is the faintest taste of arcana here. It doesn't feel like anything that would make your hair stand on ends like a ridiculously high-leveled spell would. But it's just, you can tell something is there. And aside from that, you can tell that, the dust and the pebbles and the cobblestone have been moved aside quickly as if someone got away from here very fast. And when you go over and look at the hat and everything, there are no gold coins left in the hat.
Something is fucky here. I'll look around. I'm gonna pick up the hat and just take the hat.
Sweet. You have you can add a black
Okay, I'm not
bowler
gonna put
hat
it
to your
on,
inventory.
like I had, but I will take the hat in case I had to track down this guy. I've got something that belongs to him now.
Ooh, lovely. Fantastic. And as you say, something fucky's going on here, and pick up that hat, we are going to cut away. So we move away from Virgil and head farther up into Sharn. In fact, we head way up into the upper district of the Central Plateau. We move up to the highest towers district, where an airship soars in, traveling from the farthest reaches of Corvair. And aboard that airship is one very important passenger, Fetch 22. Fetch, do you want to describe yourself?
I will. Fetch is a 6'4" hulking warforged, sort of bronzed, not rusty, very well maintained, but definitely weathered bronze metal that sheathes over his body. He's wearing kind of like a dusty, khaki, beige kind of vest, I guess. Yeah, a vest with the sleeves taken off, with a big, long, sort of tattered scarf just around the bottom of his face. He's got this vest, it cuts off at the sleeves, and he's wearing some quite nice pants that are a little scuffed at the bottom of where it looks like he's been walking for at least a little bit. On his side, he has a delicate, elegant, incredible sort of side saddlebag that he has sort of strung over his shoulder, that he holds with a single hand very, very carefully. Just below the collar, even though it is kind of covered by the sleeveless vest, there is like a deep hum of a low kind of green light that seems to peer out from the top. Also, I'm wearing a hat, a really, really cool top hat.
That was the most important part. Thank you. I was actually waiting for that. Fantastic. So we see Fetch standing aboard this not ridiculously crowded, but still well over usual. And you are coming into dock now. You've kind of been going on a bit of a sabbatical, but you've been out of Sharn for some time. When do you think the last time you were here was?
I've been in Sharn for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. I've been out for a while. I've definitely been avoiding Sharn for some time. It just doesn't feel the same, you know?
No, it's got a different kind of energy to it. And you notice that as you step back into the city. You notice the crowds of people coming off the ship. But you feel somewhat at home when you see the gorgeous towers of Sharn, and directly across the bridge from the highest towers district, you can see the illustrious Moorgrave University. The place you know you'll need to head in order to secure lodgings or any kind of help while you're in the city, depending on how long you want to stay. But as you walk out of the ship...
22, baby.
Can you give me a
Good
perception
rolls.
check?
Good rolls off the bat,
Jesus
baby.
Christ.
Ah.
Gorgeous rolls off the bat. You are walking out and you see, the kind of fences that surround... Is fences the right word? Not entirely sure. The gate and the guardrails that surround the highest towers district as you step off from the airship onto solid ground yet again. People are hustling and bustling, moving around. Plenty of people heading towards Dagger Watch and plenty of people heading towards Sunrise. A few people heading the direction you're meant to be going towards the university district. But through the crowd, you see for the first time in a while, you see a Warforged sitting on the floor, cross-legged, with his back up against the wall, slightly rusted on one side, as if he's been left out in the rain, with just a little hat out in front of him and a small kind of, not a loincloth, but a kind of skirt, a skirt of fabric or material around his lower waist. And you can see him reaching out to people, asking, for coin and for anything that would help.
I have a question to ask you. Are there like oils and primers or whatever you would call them that I use to maintain my super well manufactured sheen and shine on my body?
There absolutely are. And you keep them in a gorgeous little, lavatory bag that you have. It's a lovely leather bag with golden stitches around it and the initial F22 on the bag. And you keep all of your oils and various,
scrubber,
kind of creeks and ointments in there.
My little metal scrubber to
your
keep
little
myself
scrubber.
All shiny and well oiled, because cleanliness is close to some form of holy. That's what I remember.
Exactly. Cleanliness is close to divinity. And you can hear this Warforged saying, "Please help a fellow
I walk up to
citizen
him.
out."
With my lavatory bag fully in view. I've pulled it out of my bag and I've got my scrubby out, and I just walk up to him ominously and just go, "Howdy, friend."
Hello, brother.
Well, yes. And no, brother, yes and no, but I appreciate the sentiment. But hi, I'm here to scrub you. You look kind of rusty.
Oh, that would be...
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal. Also, apologies for the brother. I find it easier to fit into biped society by conforming to their gender
yes,
norms.
Of course. I mean, I haven't actually truly had a full body for a very, very long time, so I totally get it. I mean, it's so weird. I mean, what, you're related to someone and now you just call them brother? Crazy, right? Anyways, please let me scrub you now.
Give me an insight.
Yeah, I'll
give me
you
an insight check.
That's a 5, baby. That's gonna be 5 plus 2. That's a 7.
Cool. Hearing that you haven't had a regular body for a long time, he seems absolutely fine with that. That is a completely regular sentence that any person would ever say. And he's cool with that. As you come up to him and offer this, he is obviously not well looked after and not at all kind of well maintained, but he says, "How can I help you?"
I'm just
Although he has nothing to
scrubbing
give.
his shoulders. I'm just like, I don't need any help. It's fine. When I see people who are rusty out on the street, I just get like an urge to just, scrub them down and make them feel clean, I'm just like fully scrubbing him.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh,
okay.
On the back.
Okay.
Back left. Right there. Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
This is, I feel like this is a lot from you, but, that's fine. Yeah, okay. I just keep scrubbing him. I'm just, just chilling here.
No
worries.
Thank you, friend. No one shows this kind of kindness in Sharn. In fact, I should not even
What,
be
getting
here.
scrubbed?
Well, yeah, one getting scrubbed and two in the upper districts of Sharn. I figured it might be the easiest way for someone like me to earn money.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I have an idea. And maybe tell me if this is stupid, but I have a really good idea. Have you ever learned how to juggle? That's a shame, because I hear the jugglers make a lot of good money up here. People pay to see those balls just go straight up in the air. I mean, it's crazy how they catch them. 3 at a time? I mean, incredible. No,
You know
I
how
wish.
to juggle. Oh. Well,
He stands up and laboriously looks like he's going to like kind of rotate his shoulder cuff to where he would usually creak and try and clear away some rust. It just easily glides, and he stands up without any kind of creak or rust to him. And he can't smile, but you can tell that he is quite happy that someone gave him the time of day, and even happier that a fellow Warforged actually took the time to look after him. Give me another insight, if you please. You can tell that this kind of like abstract mind that you have from not really ever having a body, but also being a Warforged, so not understanding human emotions, but understanding kind of the abstract ideals. You can tell that this Warforged was considering a darker path than just begging, and perhaps what you've done has just changed that. And he looks at you and says,
perhaps I shall find a juggler.
Oh, we have plenty
to
of
learn
books
from.
at the university. I could just go grab one. I'm pretty sure there's a whole juggling section. I haven't been there in a really, really long time, but I kept putting in a bunch of notices. I kept asking for juggling books, so I'm sure they've got them.
Then perhaps I shall apply for the university, though not many of our kind are able to use the arcane. Perhaps I shall just learn regular physical
Juggling, or you, I don't know. You could, build a sculpture. Sculptures are cool, right? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Do you need anything from me? Because do I have a thing that I need to get to that's like time sensitive, or am I just chilling?
You are meant to be meeting Professor Frenwyn Stern outside of the university, roughly around midday. You have a stopwatch. You can see that it's roughly about 11:30. So if you started moving now, you would make it there on time. But if you spent, another few minutes here, you would possibly
Cool.
be late.
I'm gonna toss this dude like 1 gold coin from my satchel and go like, I am so sorry. This is really not like me, but I really have to go because there's somebody I need to meet. But you stay exactly here, and I'll come back with a bunch of books, and you could read them, and then maybe you could start making some money yourself. But yeah, stay here if that's cool.
That would be phenomenal. Thank you. My name is Gearhulk, brother. Pardon me. My name is Gearhulk.
I'm Fetch 22.
And yours is?
And I give him 2 finger guns.
22, and yet you struggle with the concept of, you know what? I'll wait here.
And he just easily sits back down and just waits there with his little hat in front of him with now a single
I give him a wave,
gold
and I
coin in
fully
it.
head off, just fully sprinting. Like, it's actually intense how fast I'm sprinting away.
Cool. Like that kind of like sprinting you do when you're a kid
absolutely.
and you want to get
Just, like,
somewhere quicker.
way too focused, going overexerting myself way too much, just like
Phenomenal. Cool. You don't feel like you don't have a stamina reserve, so you just fucking pace through this city. People move out of the way, but you quickly are able to just dodge and weave your way
like
through
a bale
people.
of hay at some point.
And you crash through a bale of hay, and some annoyed seller
I'm so
said,
sorry.
"Hey,
I'll come back and
my
put it all together.
hay!"
Do you need glue? I'll be back. And I just keep running.
Son of a wow. And you Doppler effect, son of a wow. As you pace through the city. You make it to the university at 11:57, a record best
covered in hay.
for traveling through
Covered in
Sharn.
hay.
And you see, sitting on the steps of this illustrious university, I mean, it's this gorgeous kind of marble-like stone, but not exactly marble, a beautiful facade on the front, statues of spellcasters out front, one reaching over to another as a beam of gorgeous arcane energy extends from them and meets in the middle. And just behind, in the background, behind this, you can see in platinum, a gorgeous platinum placard says Moorgrave University, University of the Arcane and Other Unknown Necessities. And sitting on the steps, you can see this rather gorgeous and young-looking half-elf man with beautiful long white hair, absolutely no facial hair, and he is just sitting there with a pocket watch of his own and a couple
this
of
is
books.
definitely the university. I remember all the statues. It definitely has that kind of vibe. I'm fully just like talking out loud to myself as I stand in front of the university. Hello.
Oh, you must be Fetch 22. Yes, the pleasure, of course, is all mine.
He reaches out for your hand
I'm like
and gently kisses it.
so confused, but I'm just like, yeah, this changed a lot from when I was last here. They used to just shake your hand, but I mean, you.
No, don't worry, 'tis but an illustrious greeting between soon-to-be
You
friends,
really like that
I
adjective,
hope.
but yeah, sure. I mean, I don't. What is this?
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, but of course.
He extends the book in his hand, tucks a hand under his abdomen, and does a ridiculously cordial bow.
I am Professor Sprenwinstern, Professor of Transmutation. It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I was a huge fan of your father,
we all were.
Master
I mean, he was
Titherin.
incredible. I mean, look, I mean, he's just great.
Of
He's just
course.
great. Yeah.
Yes, your father was a friend of mine, a close acquaintance, if you will, and truly one of a
Your
kind.
cadence is throwing me off, but I agree.
Worry not, 'tis but a cultural overhang from my people. I wouldn't worry yourself about it. Now, your father, rest in peace, he left behind certain instructions for us here at the university and said that were you to stay in Sharn, we were to arrange lodging for you. Yes, so we have done.
So I don't really sleep, but I kind of just sort of lay still for a few hours.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really need a bed. You can kind of just prop me up
Yes,
against the
don't
wall.
we all?
That's actually kind of what I'm most used to.
A simple man, I like it. I myself favor
see that.
crisscross applesauce. Yes, of course, I'm a trancer, a dreamer, if you will.
This fucking
But we have
guy.
arranged some gorgeous, when I say gorgeous, I do truly mean gorgeous, my lord. Down in Everbright, we have managed to arrange some lodgings for you. If you care to take the lift down at the end of this ward, then of course you shall find yourself in the Everbright Magic District. Now, should you ever need anything, please
Do not hesitate to call me. And he hands you a sending stone.
I just sort of like chuck it in my bag. I go, before I leave, I have a really important question.
Yes, of course. Would you like to know?
No, this is more important. Do you have any books on juggling?
Yes, of course. We received your
Yes.
telegrams and animal messengers and sending messages and messages. In fact, a lot of correspondence from you on the subject of juggling. Now, of course, we did not ever have any juggling books of our own, as we are, and he gestures behind him. Yes, that is what I'm saying, juggling. Yes, hard. Yes, a hard J, a juggle.
Fetch is gonna take that tiny twinge of frustration he feels and just put it in a tiny little box in his head and just close it really, really tight. And goes, "It's pronounced juggle," and puts it in his mind.
Now, as you were saying, the juggling books you have requested, we have indeed got them shipped from the deepest pits of Zalago, and I shall run inside briefly and grab them for you, most illustrious Master Fetch 22. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, and you as well. When you come back, I will take that address because I would really prefer not to sleep on the ground.
Yes, but of course, any wall shall do, any chair is a seat.
Oh no, I'm just familiar.
Yourself.
I'm just familiar.
Master Fetch 22.
You don't have to call me Master. You can just call me Fetch 22. That's totally fine.
And with you, I truly do hope to become familiar. And he reaches out to your hand again and
his
kisses
head
it.
a little as he kisses
How about to be a moment?
Give him a little head pat.
Sensual.
Okay.
I like it. He runs inside. He absolutely just fucking paces inside. Just doesn't even take a beat, doesn't even take a breath, just runs at full speed inside, and he is back outside in the next 5 minutes with a Alabaster's Guide to Juggling. And with the address and a map to the place that you will be living. As well, Fetch, you know that you have a set of tasks that your father also asked for you. And one of the people that you are to deliver a package to is one Thimron Stonebane, a dwarf artificer that works in the Daggergate Ward.
Do I have that list of people I'm meant to meet, correct? Is it possible for me to hand over that list of names? Not give them the list, but like hand over the names to this extremely horny greeter, and like see if he can figure out where those people are in the city. So when I come back, maybe I can get some more information on who I'm supposed to meet here beyond this one person.
But of course, reading, my favorite activity. He takes the list of names from you. What is it specifically
I just want to give him the names so
for?
that, like, because I haven't been here in a year and a half. I want to give him the names just to see if they can, like, track their whereabouts so that I can more easily track those people down on the list.
Okay, cool. He gives you, he lets you know that a fair few of those people actually live within the city, and a fair few of them are very obviously, old acquaintances of your father's. He says that the artificer, Thimron, lives in the Daggerwatch district, and it's not too far from here. He does say, however, it would probably be best to head over perhaps tomorrow morning. See if you could catch the gentleman before he begins his workday. I know he's a busy man. We'll see how it goes. I'll go get settled in, and then maybe I'll just head over and see if he's around. Yes, but of course, do you need a hand at all moving anything? You look like a big, strong warforged. A guide to the city? Anything you require is Your wish is my
Again,
command,
just fetch
Master
22.
Fetch 22.
I'm not really a master. But I'm fine.
Yes.
You are okay. You preferably just stay right here. And if you're coming close to me, please feel free to let me know so I can prepare. I'll be back later. Have a nice day.
What chicanery from you, Mr. Master Fetch. I
fully-
bid you adieu. And he stands
You can go
right
inside
there.
if you want. I'm not telling you to stand right there, but...
Your wish is my command.
Oh, wow.
And he
Things have
floats
changed around here
inside.
since I've been here.
Yes, but of course. Heads up, gang. This is a heady tonal shift right now. We are going to fly away from the university district, far, far away, past over Dagger Watch, deep down under into the stores, the warehouse district, and across. We move over down into a district known as the Fallen. It used to be a gorgeous temple district over a century ago, known as God's Gate. But as the city grew, a lot of temples relocated to the higher wards, and unfortunately, during the last war, a tower known as the Glass Tower broke apart and fell off of the floating citadel called the Skyway and landed on top of God's Gate. It has now been turned into a slums, and there aren't many that occupy this area unless they have truly a death wish. Sitting inside an exquisite temple is Cersei. Cersei, do you want to describe what you look like?
So Cersei is kind of like doused in shadow. She's got her hood up of her cloak. It's a crimson red, sleeveless. But she does kind of have her slender, like ashen gray skinned fingers playing with an amulet around her neck. It's a sapphire that seems to be glowing of like a faint blue. And you can see like the very tail end of her braid over her shoulder, her hair woven black, that seems to be kind of falling out, though she doesn't really care. She also wears a cuff on her right wrist that has like an ornate gem in the center of it that seems to be like humming away with magical energy. And a long sword sits beside her on the floor. It looks simple in design, but you can tell it's something that she kind of holds close to herself.
Fantastic. Cersei, you are sitting in this gorgeous temple. Extravagant. Oh. You are sitting in this gorgeous temple. Extravagant gilding lines the walls and frames every inch of the building. A huge, glistening marble altar sits at the front of the temple, and before it stands a cleric in exquisite finery. A hand grips around yours and squeezes. You feel a slight shuffle of a child's nervous feet to your left, and you feel yourself instinctually place a hand on the back of that child's neck. As you turn to meet their gaze, reality sets into place. The altar and its cracks clearly visible in the now moonlight that cascades through the shattered roof of the old temple. Dust coats the walls and barren facades. The once gilded decor now scratched and battered from years of scavenging and reclamation. You sit alone now, silent. Not even your breath filling the air around you.
She'll kind of give a slow sigh and push herself to her feet, fingers curling around the hilt of her sword as she stands, the tip of it kind of grinding against the stone.
Great. Can you give me a perception check super quickly? Just so you know as well, it is now kind of past dusk. This is usually the time that you are up and active. You kind of wait around during the day, and at night you kind of tend to go out and do your work.
I got a 14.
As you call it. 14, lovely. You hear the peeping of a little mouse as it squeaks close over towards you and runs up your leg. And from outside, you can hear a shuffling. unlike the usual quiet of the slums, people tend to keep things to the buildings. You can hear what sounds like someone just pacing outside.
I'll kneel down and put my hand out to Little Mouse and go, Nibbles, now isn't the time. Unless you actually found cheese this time. Otherwise, she'll kind of stand again.
Nibbles is holding a tiny chunk of marble and looks up at you, tries to go and bite the marble. Her teeth just clack off it, looks really sad, and just drops the piece of marble and climbs up your arm.
Okay, we'll fix that eventually. Maybe. I don't think so, but we'll figure it out. And then she'll like turn, fingers clenching on that hilt, and can I do like a perception check or investigation check to get more information on those footfalls?
Yeah, absolutely, go for it. Give me a perception check.
12.
12. You can tell that these footfalls are very clearly trying to get somewhere. It doesn't sound so much that they're getting away from something as they are trying to not be late to somewhere.
She'll turn towards it then, and she'll start heading for the exit to see if she can investigate further, like with her eyes.
Cool, sweet. You head out of this dilapidated temple. The pews shattered, and just a small the small area that you have made your home in the background as you walk out into the moonlight. Cool. You can go ahead and give me a perception check to see what you can see with your eyes.
I got 18.
18. Cool. You see a man running down the street, a cape billowing behind him, sleeves rolled up, and he looks weirdly twitchy, like he's looking around, but he's still pacing towards somewhere. And you know that area to be the stores, the warehouse district of Sharn. And you can also see on his arm about 4 lines of just black ink up his arm, which you figure, given what you've been doing for a while now, that he's a member of a gang.
Okay. She'll kind of like reach up and like scritch Nibble's forehead with her little finger. She goes, I think I found a way to get you some cheese. And she'll start stalking towards her new prey.
Sweet. You, like a shadow, just dip into the night and begin keeping pace with this man.
21.
Give me a stealth check if you don't mind. 21. Fully does not suspect a thing. You see him making his way out the fallen. You see these just destroyed buildings as he vaults his way over, ducks under, and maneuvers around the maze a way that only a man born in Sharn could. He slowly worms his way towards the stores district, and as he dips around a corner and you lose sight of him for a moment, you hear another voice. You hear a voice pop up. Good. Glad to see that you made it. So, have all the preparations been made? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure we're ready to go for it tonight. This seems pretty fucking crazy. I mean, you heard what happened up there a couple of years ago, right? Yeah, I did. And unlike them, we're not fucking idiots. So we're gonna be quick and we're gonna be quiet, okay?
No problem.
Give me another stealth check.
That's gonna be 19.
18. What are you looking at, boss? Oh, nothing. Must have been the wind. You hear both of these gentlemen kind of grab onto something and start moving towards where you know a lift to be.
Is there a way I can like circle around so I can cut them off before they get to that lift?
You can give me a kind of a I would usually say like
Sure.
to find a path. Yeah, go for survival.
Fuck yeah, it's gonna be 24.
You know your way around this district. You stalk this usually during the night. And you know that if you wanted to, you could probably meet them at the lift or get on there before you needed to. before they got on. Or you
By
could
going
hide
over to
yourself
get on the
there.
lift, so that way when they're climbing like up to it, I can just kind of like peek out and be like, "Hey, Jess."
Cool. Sweet. You manage to get onto the lift, and you can go ahead and give me a stealth check to kind of hide yourself behind some
no,
crates that
that
have
was
been
good. I'll take a
left on
16.
there. 16. Cool. I will roll. These guys are feeling a little twitchy. Hey, what the fuck was that? You hear that? And the smaller guy goes like, no, I didn't hear a thing. I think you're getting jumpy. Come on, we gotta go meet the rest of them.
And as they say that, she'll kind of like swing around the corner of the lift and kind of give like a devilish like half smirk, and she'll say, "Hi, boys."
Oh shit, what the fuck?
Wow, swinging for
Who the hell are
lady.
you?
How proper.
Hey, you ain't no fucking lady, not by the looks of it anyway.
Oh my
You
god.
can go
okay.
ahead and roll initiative for me if you'd like.
Fight, fight!
That's gonna be a 23.
23? Nowhere near as bad as them. Cool. You are up first. You are confronted by two bandits.
So Circe's gonna kind of like look at little nipples on her shoulder. She goes, "I like that one," and as she does that, she'll cast Hunter's Mark on the one to her left. And then she'll raise her sword, and she's gonna hopefully attack.
Drex? What the fuck was that? She put some juju on me, some
Oh,
weird
it's just,
fucking
'cause
magic
I like
on
your
me.
blood more.
Shut up, man. We'll take her out.
And shit's that's a
McFucking
19
what?
to hit.
The 19 to hit just absolutely does. It just, no qualms about that. It absolutely fucking does. This is a man.
That is going to be a 11 damage as she kind of like lets her longsword slash him from like his left flank up to his right rib.
That is absolutely the amount of hit points he had.
And then she'll kind of glance at the other guy and be like, "So are you next? Or do you want to just tell me what your plan is?"
Yo, what the actual fuck?
As you fully just step forward, silent as the night, and decapitate this guy with no qualms whatsoever. He give me an
advantage.
intimidation check at advantage here.
Thank God. This one was a 2. So that is going to be an 18.
Oh my god, a nat 20 on a wisdom saving throw. You see for a moment it looks like he might piss his pants, but then he grabs his sword and says, "Hey, how about we just get this over with real quick? And unless you have any other actions, it is going to be him." Sweet. He is going to attack you with a scimitar. This one's for Jerry! Does a 20 hit. Oh my god, it hits 2 damage. And the lift is starting to move up now. So you guys are about 10 feet off the ground. And he begins to notice
I'm
this,
gonna
but that is
circle around
you.
him so that way his back is to the the exit, I guess, to the lift, like where the door would be. And I will attack.
It is my bad for not describing properly. The lift is like a big 30-foot platform that is just self-contained with guardrails and a gate at the front so people can step on and off. But you can definitely corner him so he doesn't have a way
in
off.
the corner. And as I go to swing, bonus action, I'll move my Hunter's Mark to him as well. That will be a 16
Okay, cool. Absolutely no qualms about it. He is hit.
I think that's 11. Oh no, that's 13.
Another
I can't
11?
do math.
His full HP is gone. He is beyond dead, unless you want to do non-lethal.
100%.
You want to do lethal. I'm never going to fucking show. And you fully decapitate him as well. And now you are just headed up on this lift with 2 dead bodies. You
Fantastic.
can fucking absolutely go for it.
7.
7. we'll say that was for the body of Jerry, rest in peace. He doesn't particularly have anything on him. You reach your hands into a pair of now pissy trousers, and you are able to retrieve a couple of gold coins, but not much else.
She goes, I'm so sorry, Jerry. But then pocket the coin.
You pocket the coin and the lift is still going up. You've probably got like 2 minutes before you reach... you are heading up towards Dagger Watch.
Or did they leave it down below? Cool.
They were carrying something.
As I'm finishing up the lift, can I investigate the other guy to see if he's got anything that could, like, I don't know, cheese, or like to see if they have anything that would tell me what they're doing?
Yeah, go for it. Give me that investigation check. 16. Fantastic. You go into this guy's, you go into the bag and this guy's kind of pockets and everything. He does just so happen to have a small kind of wax wrapped piece of cheese, a little bit of Breland Brie, and he also, in the bag, you see various kind of like tools of the trade. So, drills, hammers, thieves' tools and stuff like that. And inside you also see the architectural drawings of a building in Daggerwatch. It is for an artificer's shop known as Bits and Bobbins.
She'll fold that piece of paper out, kind of tuck it into her cloak, and then she'll take out that fancy brie cheese, and she'll unwrap it, and she'll hand it to Nipple. She goes, today's your lucky day.
Nibbles squeaks with glee as you hand her this brie, and starts just diving in head first, getting her fur completely covered in this.
And then my goal is, as
brie.
she's kind of nibbling, is I'll tuck her into another pocket, and then I will attempt to like shove these bodies further in the corner so it's not so obvious they're here. And then I will prepare myself to kind of get out of this lift as soon as possible when it stops.
Cool. Give me a what kind of fucking check do you do to hide bodies? Give me another. Give me a deception check. You manage to pry open a crate. There's not much in there aside from packaging peanuts, and you are able to stick the body of Jerry in it with enough space, you think, to hide the body of Jax, the other bandit. And you stick them both in there, and as you go to close the lid of this crate, it doesn't exactly fit right. So it's just open a little bit, but, someone would have to open it to see what's inside. And then the lift approaches and stops.
Fantastic. As it stops, she'll quickly kind of like make sure her hood's up, clean her blade off on her black leather pants, and get the fuck out.
Cool. Sweet. Where are you heading to? Are you heading towards... Sweet. Cool. You've got the architectural plan, so you know what the front of this building looks like. You are able to find your way around. Go ahead and give me a survival check just to kind of, at advantage, to kind of find your way to the right place.
I'll take the 12. So that is going to be 17.
17. Sweet. You are able to find it within the next 15 minutes. You walk around a little bit and then you just get a gut feeling that you are heading the right way. And eventually you manage to find your way towards the shop, Bits and Bobbins. And it looks like there are no lights on inside, but you see this gorgeous wooden stone building. Give me a perception check. 13. Cool. You notice in the window a pair of steel defenders. They look like dogs, but made of metal. This is up to you. Do you think Cersei would have ever seen these before?
Common in the lower districts? Probably not.
These just look like metal renditions of dogs, and they are standing they are slumped on the ground very still. And with your perception check of 13, unfortunately, you do not see the face that accompanies the hand that is laid upon your shoulder. and in your
She'll
ear,
quickly swiftly
you just
draw
hear
her blade and spin around, spinning it to put the tip of the blade against this guy's throat.
you do not have the time as he casts suggestion on you and says, give me a moment here, folks, and says, why don't you just do nothing and wait right here until someone else shows up? And I'm going to need a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage. Sorry, no, just a straight wisdom saving throw.
Oh, don't worry, I disadvantaged myself with the roll. That's going to be a whopping 8.
Oh, wolf. 8. This spell fully takes place on you, and you are stuck still, and you will wait here until someone else shows up. And you can hear the person behind you walk away, as you hear the shuffling inside the shop of more people kind of rooting through things and smashing up some things, and they all leave after about 20 minutes. And you are just stood here. Night turns slowly to dawn, and you are still stood here in the exact same place. And that is when we're going to pop over to Virgil. Virgil, you had a full day of work yesterday. You know that Thurgrim left, and now it is just going to be Aluisha. I keep saying the name wrong. You know that Thimrin has left, and he will be heading off to Zalargo to Corenberg for about a week, and Aluisha Bagmore is the only person there to open up the shop. Thimrin asked you politely yesterday if you wouldn't mind getting to work a little bit earlier. So you're back in Meleon's Gate, and you're free to do as you wish, head to work.
Yeah, I'll just head to work. Like I usually do, since he wants me to get there earlier. I'll make sure I'm there earlier.
Sweet. As you're heading out towards your regular sky coach, you see one of your old goblin associates, Fox, out on the streets playing craps with another goblin that you don't quite know. Oh, you son of a bitch, you cheating son of a bitch! And you see he's about to go and throw a punch at this goblin you don't know. Over clearly like a couple of silver.
Fox usually over exaggerates, or is like, as in like this is like, if something small could go wrong, or if he makes a mistake, he's volatile like this, or he's within good reason to throw a punch. Like, is he a volatile person, or?
Fox is absolutely a volatile son of a bitch. He goes off at the slightest thing. You remember one time, another associate of yours, Gux, took Fox's lunch as a prank, and as a prank, Fox said, he burned down his house. So he is definitely the kind of guy to over-exaggerate
these
over the
guys in
smallest
the red
things.
caps, or does I know them in passing?
You know Fox from the red caps, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna grab his hand. I'm through his little goblins. As he goes to throw a punch, I just like put my hand in and grab his arm.
You grab his hand, and just not even meaning to, you lift him off the ground slightly, and he's running in place, and he says, "What the fuck? Who the fuck do you think?"
Another misunderstanding, I'm guessing.
Hey, Virgil. Yeah, this guy, he incredible. How do you roll 3 6s at a time unless you fucking cheat? That's what I'm saying to him.
Sometimes
That's what I'm
people
fucking
are
saying to
lucky,
this fucking
Fox.
idiot.
You know me, I beat your ass and Dragon Eddy more times than I can remember, and I'm not even that good at cards.
Yeah, well, that ain't fair, because you know,
Can I,
he was
like...
also probably cheating. You know,
well, I'm
everybody's
holding
got
it.
out
Can I
for
like look
Fox.
down and either investigation the board or insight the goblin to see if cheating's going on? One of the two.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Advantage because I'm proficient in gambling. Fuck yeah. Well, if I go for advantage, I'm going to be a nat 1. Investigation is going to be a 21.
As you shuffle, as you look down and you put Fox down, you just hear the rattle as dice hit the floor, and you can see that 3 loaded dice have just fallen out of Fox's shirt sleeve, and all landed on 6.
Fox was cheating, the other guy wasn't. Okay, I'm going to pick up 3 loaded dice, and I'm going to look at Fox and go, huh, you found my old dice. Thank you for holding on to them for me. And I'm kind of saying to Fox that I'm not going to tell the other guy you were cheating, but I'm keeping these dice.
Yep,
no
no
you
problem,
goblins
Virgil.
have a good
You
day.
Try
not burn down any houses. And I'm going to wink out and walk. And I'm going to wink out and walk away. And I'm going to add those to my inventory. They'll probably come in handy in the future. Yup, I got plans over for these.
Hate my life. What have I done? Sick as fuck. Cool. Virgil, you are heading off towards work. And you take your regular Sky coach. Your coach lady from yesterday picks you up. A usual small chat, but none of the, how are the parents, you know? We are going to head over quickly to Fetch. Fetch, you stood up against a wall all night last night. How was it?
I'm well rested. I'm ready to take on the day, and I'm ready to go talk to some people.
You know your way around Sharn pretty decently. I mean, you have flown around the city probably more times than you've walked around it. You know this city inside and out, so you would be able to make your way to Dagger Watch without
I think I'll probably do a leisurely
up.
walk just to take in the sights and see how the city's changed in the last year and a half. Yeah.
Leisurely stroll. Sweet. As you walk about, you notice in the upper district, you kind of thought maybe it would be a more common occurrence, that there would be more beggars about, but no, not really. People are dressing in the newest fashions of the day, these ridiculously high-collared shirts and everything, very frilly, lots of bright, vibrant colors as everyone walks about the streets. Sharn has definitely changed after the war. A lot more people tend to flock here, a lot of immigrants, especially from Sire. But you don't happen to notice any Syrians.
I have to give myself a mental reminder to go back to that guy and give him the book on juggling. That Warforged. I put the book of the book of juggling. The book of quotation marks. I put that mental reminder in my head to go give him that book whenever I next get the chance to do so. I'm just having a quick look around. Do I see any other Warforged around me in the city, just in general?
There is, let me check the districts that you're walking through here. You're in Upper Sharn right now. So you're walking through the University District, then you will be going through, the Ivy Towers, which is average residential, and 7th Tower. So as you're walking through 7th Tower, which are these ridiculously fine shops, they're handsome bespoke made suits and bespoke dresses and jewelers and arcane trinkets and stuff like that. At the end of one street you do in fact see a Warforge, but he is not like a Gear Hulk at all, in the way that he was sitting down kind of waiting for people to pass and give him some coin. He is actively proselytizing to the people. He is standing up in a soapbox and he is shouting out towards the people.
Citizens of Sharn, is it fair that you should ask the Warforged to do for you what you are unwilling to do for yourself? Is it not fair that any creature with a soul should be given free will, not thrown aside when their task is completed? I ask you, people of Sharn, to think about the fairness in your own lives.
He is basically just proselytizing about equality between Warforged people and the regular
this is
races of
bringing up some
Sharn.
feelings in me that I don't like, so I'm just gonna move on. Nothing to see here, folks. I'm totally fine. And I just keep
Absolutely nothing to see
moving. This guy
Sweet.
that I'm supposed to be bringing this package to, do I know him? Do I have any memories of him that I might access? Even one's pre-body, even. Yeah. Or like familiar
Familiar?
zone memories,
Yeah. You can. Your father worked with him on a number of times. Your father worked with him on a number of occasions. And you remember one specific memory where you were in fact in his workshop, and you remember playing with these two steel dogs, one named Fluff and the other called Sweetie. And you have rather fond memories of both of those, steel defenders being simulacra like yourself. But you remember him as a fairly kind man. He had a good sense of humor, and your father would talk about him often. He, as well, also helped your father to create you.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Do I know what I'm supposed to deliver to him off the last will and testament?
You don't know. Your father has instructed that you give certain items out in his will. You have your messenger bag, but it will only kind of allow you to access it in the presence of the person you are meant to deliver the package to.
Where I think he is, that address.
Sweet. You head off towards the shop, Bits and Bobbins, owned by... head off to the shop, Bits and Bobbins, owned by Thimbrun Stonebane. And it is here. It's roughly about, 7:30 in the morning. You woke up quite early, got out, and you arrived there about 7:30ish. Virgil, you also show up to Thrimrum's shop at about 7:30. You know that you're meant to be waiting for Aluisha. But instead, you are greeted by a grey-skinned woman standing exceedingly still in front of the shop that you're meant to be working at. Cersei, as soon as you see this person, you're able to move again.
Her body will kind of rock forward for a brief moment, kind of as if she had been in the middle of doing an action, and she'll let out a very unnecessary exhale and swear under her breath.
Walking over, I'll take one last draw or drag from my cigarette as I kind of the last kind of exhale right before I have to put it away for the last smoke before work. And I look up and see her and go, "Yo, shop's not open yet. You can come back in an hour or so, but you gotta go."
It's at this point that Fetch, you round the corner and you see these two people just waiting outside the shop.
Whoa, a party here! Hey, everybody!
Oh, Warforged. Where's your master? Are you here to deliver something?
My master? Very dead. Delivering something? Yes. And I fully hold up my bag and I go, there's a dwarf around here somewhere. I'm supposed to deliver him something.
Well, the boss isn't in. The name's Virgil. You can leave it with me. I guess I'm his underling. He can give it to me and I'll give it to him when he gets back into town.
That's posing quite the conundrum because I can only give it to him specifically.
Okay, I don't know much about programming. And Virgil lift up his head and scratch the back of his head with his Warforged arm. I guess you could come back in about a week. That's when he gets back from his trip. If you want to leave it with me.
No, it's not programming. I mean, it's a magic item. I can't take the thing out of the bag unless I'm in the same room as him. This is very, very important. I really need to give it to him.
Then I guess you better come back in a week's time when he's here. I'm sorry, he left last night. He won't be back for a while.
Does everyone want to go ahead and give me a perception check?
I got the dirty 20.
I also got a dirty 20.
Cool. So everyone can see inside the window. Virgil, you can see that Fluff and Sweetie are not in their regular position, nor are they awake. They usually stay up through the night and don't actually require rest, but you can see through the window they are slumped
I immediately
on
push
the
the door
floor.
open and go in.
You can see the same thing, Fetch. You see these two steel defenders inside, the ones that you have memories of, and can see that they don't
Fluff
look
and
in a great
Sweetums.
way. Cersei, you, as you are able to move again, notice this as well, and as you all begin to move through the door, you can see there
I'm
is
just going to
some
push the door open
blood
and go inside
around the
straight away.
room.
Fully follow right after him. Got
And
all
what,
those dogs.
no, actually, Virgil wouldn't even say, don't come in here. He's too like, what the fuck is going on? He's going to run in.
Yeah. You push past the shop counter and move into the kind of workshop area. Tools are scattered around. Shelves have been pulled off of the wall. There are regents for spells and all sorts of magic items strewn across the floor. And in the back of Sweetie and Fluff are two
Yo, Thimron,
daggers
you here?
each.
And I'm just going to draw my sword. I'm going to manifest so Fetch and Cersei, you will see Virgil's body shimmer for a moment, and then coming out of the ground, this shadow that looks exactly like Virgil, except it has a normal arm. It's completely black and has these emanating red glowing eyes. I'm going to look at my echo and go, yo, go search for Thimgrim. Report back to me. And I'm going to just start pulling this place apart, like going room by room looking for Thimrun.
Cool. It two thumbs up and just dashes off.
You didn't tell me
it
you
will
had
stay
a
within 30 feet of you,
brother.
though.
I'm not even going to process what you just said right now. Also, you called them by name. You know these two?
Yeah, like we used to roughhouse. They used to we used to roll all over the ground back when I was, about the same size.
I'm going to unpack that later.
Hi, I'm Fetch 22. I hold out a big fucking hand.
I kind of put my hand into his, kind of like I'm busy, like trying to find the source of the blood. I also put my hand into him and go, I'm Virgil Hargen. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I shake your hand way too enthusiastically.
Okay, there's kind of an emergency going on here. I'm gonna,
Right,
and
the
I'm just
blood.
gonna point to the blood and walk away.
yeah, of course, like murder and daggers and blood, of course. And I'm gonna make my fists big.
Sweet. Your fists come together. Your fists just enlarge with this weird arcane energy as you begin, moving around. What are you guys
I'm
doing
looking
here?
for Thimrun. I'm going to anywhere I can. Like there's rooms. I'm searching the whole shop for Thimrun or Alicia, or Alusha. Sorry.
Cool. You know that down here is the shop and the workshop. Thimrun would not be down here, but there is an apartment upstairs.
Take off, like I'm dashing. I'm not being gingerly about this. I'm dashing. This is the main priority right now.
I am just absent-mindedly blabbing about myself and telling my whole life story to whoever will listen, but no one is listening, but I'm still talking anyways. I'm like, and then I went over there to the desert and they thought I was a piece of metal and they tried to scrap me and it was crazy. And I told them, I'm not a piece of metal, I'm just a familiar. And they didn't even speak common. I was like, wow, what a crazy. And then they fully stabbed me with a spear. That was really rude.
And you lift up your ironed shirt, and there's just a hole where you were stabbed with that spear. Virgil, you pace upstairs and find the apartment door fully just unlocked. But there are no signs of anyone
I'm looking for like a
inside.
letter, any battle, any signs of a fight in the apartment. Investigation.
Cool,
Going to
give
be
me an
a 16.
investigation check.
I'll double check that. Remember what? Yeah, first plus 4, 16.
Sweet. You look around, you see blood near the bed. Not a ridiculous amount, but the amount, it kind of with your past, this scene can kind of replay in your head, and you can clock that this would be the amount of blood where someone to be punched in the face for the 4th time. Blood spattered out from someone's nose and has landed on the floor here. You do get the sense that there have been signs of a struggle, and you also notice that all of his suitcases and things are still here.
Shit. Who's gonna pay me if he's fucking dead? I want to walk. I'm gonna just like march downstairs, and Fetch and Cersei are still in the store, but I'll let you back there if that's the case.
You also notice how strange it is that you didn't think about it when you did it, but you now realize, as you're kind of putting pieces together, you should not have been able to just open the front door.
About. I was like, Virgil would just run in. I'm like, isn't Ali about to get fucking hurt here? But yeah, I thought that as well.
I'm just talking to... fucking talking to Cersei. I'm just like, and then I went over there, and I found these things, and this is where my cufflinks came from, and I bought them from over here. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyways, what's your name? I don't even know who you are.
Sweet.
You're fallen, like, talking to, like, the location or the like, blinking outline of where Cersei would have been. Because she full on laughed when you guys started doing introductions.
Oh, God,
and
that's
she would have
incredible.
moved around to the back, knowing that, probably the gang knew, like, a darker back or an alley to kind of use to get to this place, so she's going to see if there's a back door and see if there's any signs of breaking and entering.
Fetch is fully talking to, like, blank air. He didn't even realize everybody left, and he's just like, oh, where'd everybody go?
Sweet. Cool, you can give me an investigation check, Cersei.
Oh, that is an 11.
An 11. You can see that there is indeed a back door, and you are able to turn the handle and open it as if it were completely unlocked. Outside, when you do open it, you notice one snapped lockpick.
Fuck. Are there any, like, footsteps, anything, like, in the dirt or whatever that's on the ground that she could use to maybe, like, track?
There are no footprints, but back in the main room, there is a kind of, not a pool of blood, but spatterings of blood around the two steel defenders.
So she'll kind of make her way back in, not really make eye contact with the weird metal construct thing that's freaking her out, and she'll just say, they used the back door. I'm not sure what happened. I just know that the possible gang activity, I was following some guys on the way up here. And I tried to help, but, and then as Virgil's probably coming in, you'll probably catch her saying, but I got attacked.
Gangs. Interesting.
What gang? Were they goblins, human, orc? What were they? Elf? Halfling? Gotta give me something here.
DM, what do I know about the gang members with the 3 stripes?
They had 4 stripes, and from what you saw, they were all human, and the voice behind you sounded human, but somewhat affected. Like it was speaking common as a second language or a third language.
A gang of members that seem to hang out in lower districts of Sharn. Humans, as far as I can tell, identified by 4 black marks on their arms.
Well, I don't know anything about gangs, but I guess... can I get an investigation check up in here and see if I can... maybe see if there's any arcane stuff going on in here?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go for it. What are you doing? Like detect magic or something?
I can use magic awareness as an action. I can open my awareness to the presence of concentrated magic. I know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover. Could I expend one of those to maybe get an idea of what's happening around me? Cool. All right, I'm going to use magic awareness.
Go for it.
And you see, like, the joints between sort of Fetch's armor begin to glow just a little bit brighter and with a little more color, like a multicolored, almost like rainbow of energy underneath his metal. And I'm going to just roll Arcana. Cool.
Yeah, go for it. So you have a free, I think it's magical awareness. So you sense a spell and you can learn which school of magic it belongs to. So you glow a faint purple as you detect a sorry, let me just check what this is. As you detect conjuration.
So
magic.
definitely conjuration magic was used here, and I turn to the other two and I go, yeah, there's conjuration magic somewhere around here, or had been used in the past.
But you do get it's weird because there is a ridiculous amount of magical energy in here. You also glow a faint blue. So the blue ripples up through the purple as you detect evocation as well.
That weird horny elf dude, right? He was a master of conjuration, correct? Transmutation. Okay, I'm sorry.
Transmutation.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I just look at them and go, there's conjuration and evocation here. Other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah, don't know what that means. I just know magic's for nerds and wizards, and it usually spells the bad day or bad times for people like me who are not so magically gifted. But that does help. You are kind of useful, big guy. If you're looking for a new master, I could always use a servant. But
I'm fully my hands clench extremely loudly and I go, no, I'm not in the market for a new master. I'm totally fine, and I have no emotional hang-ups about that whatsoever.
Like I said earlier, we're going to unpack that one later. I know a few gangs from the lower districts. If you two want to tag along, I guess. I mean, I can't think it would be bad to have a woman who's got a really weird skin condition in a Warforged that's, I guess, a free agent. But I got a couple contacts in the slums, and if the gangs know gangs, and I kind of need to find where my boss is. One, I kind of like the guy. He does owe me a few favors still, and also if he's dead, he can't pay my bills. So if you guys want to come, that's totally cool. But I'm just gonna put a cigarette between my lips, spark it, light it, and before I head out, I want to see if I can find any of Thumrun's weird shit, if I can find any of his weird arcane pistols he used to make, or anything that I might just be able to take for the journey, since he's not here to get into trouble, if I can find any of his guns, or projects he was working on, just to be like, this can help me free him, and he can't be mad if I take it.
You know what? That's very fun and something I absolutely expected. So give me a second.
Because I know Thumrun's really passionate about his firearms, and I was like, I wonder if I could find just a boomstick lying around that I could, that he would definitely fire me for taking, but because I'm going to try and save him, he can't give me shit for it.
You know what? An investigation check would be fun, but you know what's even more fun? Just a flat luck check.
Professional investigation as well. Damn it. Okay. Oh my! The first natural 20 of the campaign.
Woo, baby!
Natural fucking 20. I shit
Yeah,
you
dude.
not.
You find a full fucking 6-shooter. You find a full revolver. It's tucked under a desk, in a drawer that Thimrin would keep some of his special things. For a fact as well, it's not just a prototype like it would have been if you didn't get a nat 20. It's a full working revolver, a full gun that shoots things, and you find just fucking 15 bullets there as well.
Add those bullets to my inventory. Is there like a cool ass holster for it, or no holster?
Of course there's a holster. Of course there's a really sick, gorgeous, black leather, sleek as hell holster with gorgeous golden embroidery around it that just
I'm
looks so good.
I'm going to take off my
would
long
fit
black coat,
perfectly
put
on your
it on the
belt.
counter, attach the holster so the gun's inside my coat in a full-on concealed weapon. Gonna spin the revolver, put the bullets in it. Even though I'm not proficient with guns, but I've seen him do it. But so using it's going to be hilarious.
Not at all.
+3. because I'm not good with guns. I'm going to slip the gun into the holster and go, well, Thimrun, you can give me shit when I saved your life. I'm going to throw my coat back over and go, I'm going to tap my chest with the guns in and go, well, I guess we're going to come. I guess you guys are going to be coming. It's bring your random friend to work day if you guys want to,
We're friends?
Yeah, the day is young, but let's say sure.
Nice! Awesome!
As well, Virgil, I will let you know that you have a sending stone with which you can contact Aluisha. So you can either let her know not to come to work or just walk into
I'm going to put this as I'm
massacre.
walking out the shop, and I'm going to turn to Cersei and Fetch and go, come with me. I actually know a shortcut to the slums. If you're afraid of heights, you're going to hate it. And I'm going to pull up my sending stone and go, Aluisha, it's Virgil. Don't come into the shop. I'd say for a long time. You're not fired or anything, just like a band-aid. Thimrun has been fully kidnapped. The shop is not a nice place, and since you're kind of, the quiet type, you don't want to see what I just saw. He's definitely not dead, or maybe he is. I'm gonna be positive about this one and say he's alive, but if you don't want to see blood and your Warforged friends is kind of fucked up, I'd just stay at home and let's say you also get a week vacation. I'm going to go track down Boss and see if I can bring him back to the shop. But I'd say for the foreseeable future, don't go to the shop unless I've told you to go there. And don't trust anyone, talk to strangers. Things your mother would tell you. And if you get any shit, make sure to send me a message and I'll get to your house as fast as I can.
Oh, right. Yeah, alright. Fuck. And you can see out the window, Aluisha is like maybe 30 feet away, and she just, yeah, no problem, and just turns around and walks back home.
Bye!
As you are leaving, you also spot, you have your own Featherfall token, but you spot another couple of Featherfall tokens by the door.
At least I know whoever did this is from this place. I'm going to grab the Featherfall tokens. I'm going to just coin flip, very much like control of, with this passive intelligence, you guys Fetch answers depending on your background. You can tell that Virgil is a gambler by the way he flicks these coins at you. And he goes, yo, you're going to need these so you don't fall to your death. Kind of forgot about that part, but lucky I remembered as I flick both of my Featherfall token.
Is there a place I can slip this in my body? Just like a full,
Is there
You
a place I can
hold it
just
close
put
to your
this in my body?
You can hold. It is it has a magical adhesive to it, where it will just, if you put it on something almost like
I'm
static,
gonna
it will
fully,
stick to you.
so I don't misplace it, fully put it inside, the back of my mouth. My mouth, yeah. So it
the
doesn't,
back of your what?
so it doesn't fall out. So it doesn't fall out.
Cool.
Virgil's
Back of
just
your mouth
fully
it goes.
attached to his balls.
Back
so
of
you
your
don't
mouth,
really-
so it does, so
He
it
just
does
throw,
not
he just
fall out.
fully, I chuck it into my mouth like a piece of
Good
cardboard.
lad.
Just go, yum.
Cool. Cersei, what are you doing with your Featherfall token?
fingers and just kind of gives a nod to a Virgil and say, rude of you to assume I didn't already have one.
I mean, I could have just been an asshole. I'm in a nice mood today. Well, kind of found I might be unemployed soon, but I didn't want to take the chance, that you didn't have one and be like, hey, jump off this, city and fall to your death. But, I mean, if you want me to, for the foreseeable future, for however long this little tango group lasts, I can just presume you're going to die and not think twice. That's easy for me.
Cersei, you can tuck it away in your pocket or whatever, but you already do have a Featherfall token.
Well, now that I've made 2 new friends, it's time to go look for this guy.
Wait, we're friends? I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What are you?
What am I? Well, that's an interesting story.
No, you know what? I'm down with this Virgil fella. Let's just pocket it, put it on a table. We'll come back to it later. Let's just go, and she'll point at Virgil and lead the way.
I could give you a book on it if you want.
No. You know what? Let's just pretend I can't weed. I actually can't read. We're gonna go.
You can't read?
Virgil, just
taking a note of
after
that.
hearing that conversation, even though just finished one, going to chain smoke and puts a cigarette between his lips, sparks and goes, "Oh, it's going to be a long fucking day. Take a long drag."
Fetch is in the back going like, okay, this one's A, and that one's like a vowel. This one's B, C,
Yo, can we teach
D.
can we give this girl reading lessons when, my boss life might not be on the line? Let me put it this way, Fetch. Am I saying that right, Fetch?
Yeah.
Wow. Like
22.
A dog? 22. Okay.
Yeah, Fetch dash 22. That's my
Yeah,
name.
Fetch, like you play with the dog, and 22 the number. I'm very well aware. Let me put it this way. You can't complete your dead master's task if my boss is dead.
True. Well, I have other
Yeah.
people I have to meet in the city, but yes, that is a very good point.
Okay, and I'm gonna knock on his chest like wood, let's go then. And I'm gonna turn to leave.
Cool. As you guys walk out of the shop, Bits and Bobbins, you close the door behind you and I'm assuming just tie it shut
I've
with a
got
little
50
bit
feet
of a
of
chain.
rope. So I'll grab some chain from the inside and just tie the door shut, and then I'll
Yeah,
turn this
easy
in
enough.
over the door that says we are closed.
Cool. Turn it over. We are closed, and then in different languages. And you head over to the edge of the Daggerwatch district, looking down towards the bazaar on the layer below you, and even further down than that, you can
Yeah, I'm just
see
gonna take a long drag of a
Celestin.
cigarette and go, right, so, all you gotta do is, I'm just gonna walk off the edge. I'm not gonna finish the sentence. I'm gonna turn to face them and go, so all you gotta do is just walk backwards and fall very calmly.
I turn to Cersei and go like, I wish I could still fly. You can go ahead.
Right then, and she'll just kind of step forward, close her eyes for a moment because heights are scary, and she'll just step off.
Fetch is gonna fall up the rear by going cannonball and fully cannonball off the side. Whee!
Cool. Virgil, you fully Chris Angel this bitch. Cersei, you just calmly walk off the edge like walking the plank, and you guys both see Fetch 22 just plummet, and that is where we are going to end the session for today.
Oh god.
That was great, man.
I hope you enjoyed, gang.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see what happens. I love Fetch and Cersei. I can't wait to figure out more with Cersei's really gothic kind of past and style. And it's so hard because I always want to hug Fetch, but Virgil's like, you're fucking weird.
He's fucking off-putting. He's a genuinely off-putting, very optimistic character. He's like, wow, my master's dead. That's crazy. Oh man, so fun. I can't wait to see this little good boy hang out with these two fucking straight up murderers.